Hey Adventure Buddy, I'm Sarah, and here are 15 tips for you to have a great time camping. And these are not potato chips, they're fire starters. If your shoes get wet, take out the insoles. They'll dry way faster, plus also that way they smell like campfire instead of, feet. These two common items could stop you from getting hypothermia and just make your camping a little more cozy. By using a wool sock and a Nalgene bottle filled with hot water, you create a heater. It's really easy. Just boil water, put it in your Nalgene, cover it with the sock so you don't burn, and hold it or put it somewhere you want to be warm. I recommend putting this in your sleeping bag like 30 to 60 minutes before you want to get in it, and it'll be so toasty. Another great use for your Nalgene bottle is actually creating a lantern. All you have to do is take your headlamp and put it inside, obviously without water. You can't really see it right now because it's daytime, but this is a great lantern. And while I'm here at my tent, don't do this. This is a classic noob mistake where you just put in one pin there and one stake here. You need to stake down where there's strings, because that's gonna stop the wind from flapping your tent around like that, which is so annoying. Almost as annoying as when you're ready to go for a trip and you're waiting for your friends for hours, which is why this tip is to always tell your friends you're leaving 1 hour earlier than you actually are for your camping trip, because people always take longer to pack than they think they will, including you. Another thing that gets really annoying when you're camping is having your toilet paper situation not be taken care of. Now, my personal preference is to put it in a Ziploc bag, pull out the cardboard center, and pull the toilet paper out from the middle. Then you get this really nice self-serving toilet paper magical machine that'll make you so happy you dance in the wind like a dum-dum. Because unlike the Bob Dylan song, the answer should not be blowing in the wind. And you're gonna wanna hang on to this hand sanitizer, not just for camp hygiene, but one of my favorite tips at the very end. Speaking of gas, sorry about that joke, you're gonna wanna stop at the gas station for one of the best tips ever. Gas stations are the perfect place to stock up on condiments. Next time you stop, be sure to grab from those little condiment thingy-majiggies, I don't know what they're called, but just grab some because they are great, they're clean, they're easy, they're lightweight. They will fuel your sandwiches, and to make sure you always have fuel for your fire, be sure to carry one of these guys. Any bag will do as long as it's water resistant. This is the primitive survivalist in me, but I think you always need a little tinder bag. When you're walking around, be sure to grab things like nice dry bark, dry grasses, or you can even just bring these pre-made fire starters. I personally like to make my own pre-made fire starter that's wrapped in foil, and I'll show you how to do that at the end. And when you're breaking smaller wood, don't do it on your shin. You're more likely to get injured. Do it right in that spot under your kneecap and pull towards you and look away. When these get big, they get dangerous, which is why we're gonna use a tree for the next tip. You can do this to cut down really big pieces of wood so that they're easy to manage and you have a great fire to cook a delicious meal over. And never forget to thank your tree. Thank you, tree, for helping me get firewood and burning stuff. And also, see this stuff right here? This is actually an incredible fire starter. Anytime you see any kind of conifer with any sort of pitch like that, especially pine, it is a fantastic fire starter, totally free in nature. Not gonna lie, this is a very easy way to break firewood, but I'm gonna be honest, it's a pretty hard thing to film. Okay, there we go. So really you're just using some leverage to break wood. Speaking of which, I like to pack frozen meat in my cooler. It keeps everything else cold, and then by the time I get to camp, it's thawed and ready to go. And instead of bringing a bunch of spices, I pre-mix my spices, put them in a small container, and throw that in my food bag as well. And it'll give you the energy for the next tip, which involves my favorite thing, dancing. Putting your phone in a little mug like this helps amplify the sound if you don't have a speaker. That's obviously not a phone, but I'm actually filming with my phone, so use your imagination there. As I'm about to while I do this for you. This brings me to my most unusual but very useful tip. You can actually make your own fire starters at home. There's many ways to do this, but I personally like to use a tampon. Yes, really. These are great because they're dense cotton. You can cut a little piece, rub it in Vaseline so it's really saturated, and then keep it in a tin foil. I like to keep this in my Tinder bundle. And then last but not least, you can use this to start your fire. Vaseline with something like cotton balls or tampons has a very long burn time. You can not only use it for your campfire, but you can also use it in urban survival situations.
You can also use hand sanitizer for this, which is why I told you to keep it. But this will burn for literally like 5 minutes. It's amazing.
And for 25 of my favorite tips, watch this video here.
Happy trails, adventure buddy.
I'm fine.